In this video, I'm going to go over the Microsoft Edge browser, the stable version. And I'm using Ubuntu Mate 20.04 for the long-term support. And this works on Microsoft Windows, of course, and it's probably pre-installed if you have Windows 10 or Windows 11. If not, I'll show you how you can download and install it if you've removed it. It works for the Mac system, the Android, and in this case, Linux. And you don't have to have an Ubuntu or Debian-based system. Let's first take a look at it. And then after we take a look, I'll show you how you can start or have links to install it. Here it's in my menu under Microsoft Edge, and it loads pretty quick, and I don't have it to keep it running in the background. I just don't have any large images to load from my system in the background. Now, with any Chromium based web browser, it's highly customizable. Now, if you click up here in the upper left-hand corner, you can turn on vertical tabs. You can search across your tabs if you've got several tabs or many tabs open. If you've got a lot of tabs, you can create a collection. So if they're on a similar topic, you can create a collection. So that way it doesn't look like you have so many tabs across the top. Here you can click on to access your Microsoft Office, or you can click here to go directly to the Office. You can create yourself little links, quick links across the bottom, and it will come with some like eBay, and you can customize, highlight over them, click onto them to rename or remove them. Then you can click here to add the links of your choice. So you can go through and remove them, and I only have one line of them. If you've got several lines, you can click this and click onto your new and that's how you can add one. I accidentally clicked there. You can customize what you have across the bottom. In this case, I can click top stories. I can click on the money issues news or whatever across the bottom so that it's not taking up a lot of real estate. I turn off any rewards thing that I have here. This is like news notifications. You can go in settings and tweak that according to the news that you like to look at. Here's where you've got your page layout where you can customize it. You can choose a focused look, an inspirational look, informational look, or you can customize it to the way that you like. The quick links which you see here, you can just show the number of rows. You can turn them off completely if you don't like any quick links shown. But if you like to use those like instead of bookmarks, you can quick link so you have quick access to them. Then you can turn on as many rows as you want. In this case, I don't have, I think it made one for the second row to show you that there's 2 rows of them. You can show promotions by turning this on, and I think I even turned the promotions off. Oh yeah, they come across the bottom, ads of things that you can purchase. You can turn on the Office sidebar where you can access the Office across by clicking on the sidebar. I turn that off to save real estate. You can change the background, or you can turn it completely off. All right, let's go and look at some of the features on the when you customize. You got your new tab, your new window that will pop up a new window. You can choose it in private window mode like incognito. You can change the zoom, so if you have a hard time seeing a web page, you can zoom in or zoom out. You can go to your favorites, your collection, you can look at the history. So if you've accidentally closed your browser, you can go back to your history and click on to bring up something you've been currently looking at. Or someone in your family's been looking at things, you can go to look at their history. Unless they learn to clear their history, you can go to your downloads. You can look at the apps and manage your apps, which I don't have any apps. I do have some extensions, and I'll show them in a few moments. You can change your alerts and tips. You can print from the web page. You can web capture. It has a screenshot tool built in. You can find within a certain page. It has a variety of tools that you have here. You've got your more settings that you can go into, and I'll take a look at those in just a few moments, and you can close the Edge browser. Now, if you found this link on YouTube, I will provide a link below that you will have access to my website link that has links to where you can download it or show you the way that I customize it. Now, if you want to download it and install it for another platform, another operating system, click where it says Microsoft Edge, and it will take you to their website. As you can see, they have an animated image. You can choose to show the features, or if you'd like to download it for a different platform, you can click here. In this case, I downloaded the Deb package for my Ubuntu Mate. If you've got a Fedora or any of the other RPM type operating systems, you can download that. For Windows 11, with Windows 10 and Windows 11, it comes installed within those, but if you've removed it, you can click download, or for any of the other older Windows versions, you can download it here. You can download it for Mac, iOS, and Android as well. Let me close this out, but I do provide the link there. You can also install it I showed two methods on here if you're using Ubuntu or the Debian base. These are the instructions for what I just showed you, and if I chose to download it, you have to accept the terms and agreement here by clicking accept and download. Then it will come up with a thank you dialog box, and eventually it will show you, it will have a download the deb package according to the location that you have on your system. Now in my case, I double clicked onto it and it brought up the GDebi package installer. If you're using Ubuntu or Debian based system and you don't have a GDebi installed on there, you can just simply copy this, paste it into your terminal, press the enter return key, put in your password, and it will install GDebi. So when you double click the deb file, this is very similar to the exe file within the Windows operating system, and then it will come up like with the installation dialog box allowing you to see the installation. The thing about it here is with a deb file, when I double click on it, I choose the install package, and it will not install until I put my password in correctly, so that way if this is a virus file, it's not going to install unless I give it permission to install. It will come up with a little dialog box showing you it's installing. Then you wait till you see the completion saying reinstall, download the package, or remove the package. Now, a lot of people kept their deb files on their system thinking that this is the way you remove it. You don't have to this way because this package will automatically install as there's updates, which clicking remove will remove it, but it's taking up a lot of space. Once you removed it, you can go back to the installation folder and delete that file to save space on your system, and that's one way to install it. Now if you've had a previous version like beta on your system, you can just open up your terminal, simply copy that to remove the beta list, because this isn't showing you how to install the stable. And there's three versions: a developmental version, which are constantly being updated, it's kind of buggy. There's the beta version, which is on the verge of right before stable, and then there's the stable, which is the most stable version of the three. The next way of installing it is by using the command line. So if you don't like downloading the deb file, you can just go update your PPAs. Make sure that you got curl installed on your system, because then you're going to actually copy and paste this to put into your system. Once you do, and this will place the key into your system, so that way it's getting the trusted key from Microsoft, and then you're going to actually put the PPA here by copying, pasting that into your terminal, update your PPAs, and then go sudo apt install Microsoft Edge, the stable version. Like I said, there's three different versions. If you want to install the deb package or the deb version, you replace stable with dev. If you would like to install the beta, put the word beta instead of stable. When you're finished, you may have to reboot your system in order for it to show up in your menu. So if it's not showing up, reboot your system, and it should. And if you go to actually update and it tells you there's an error, you may have to actually remove one of the PPAs. Like when I brought up software and updates, I looked for my packages in Microsoft and I had two. That's because I installed it both ways, by the command line and the deb file, so it installed them both ways, and I had duplicates. So I just simply come in here, remove one, hit close, and reload. It's going to show you when you close it, you can reload to delete that from your system. Here's where it has reload. Then when you go back in there, there's only one version, and it won't give you any errors with that. With the installation. Now for Ubuntu Mate users, you can use your welcome screen. You can come up here and go bring up the welcome screen, which is here. And within the welcome screen of 20.04, which is here, you can go to your browser selection. And as you can see, you can click whatever browser that you want to install on your system. I've already clicked to install, or I didn't actually click here, but if you like the one-click method, just click it and it install. The welcome screen is another way that you can do that. You also have what is called the software boutique. Within Ubuntu Mate, you've got the software boutique that you can click onto, and these are a lot of the software that works great with Ubuntu Mate. For those Mate users, you can go to the internet, simply scroll down, and you can find a lot of browsers within here, and here is the Microsoft Edge. I've already have it installed, so I can click launch if I was going to launch it, but it's already running in the background. So these are two ways that you can do the one-click installation if you're using the Ubuntu Mate. And then, like I said, it will place it in your menu. If not, reboot. When you go to update, you can go to sudo system administration, and choose the software updater. And as it's updating, if there's an update available, and there was a couple updates since I installed it on the system, or several updates, so as you can see, it will download and keep updating, because currently there's a lot of people trying to hack or break into Google Chrome, the Chromium based web browser. So in the next few days, you'll probably see several different updates from all the Chrome and Chromium based web browsers. The first time you load it, it's going to look like this. And I have a little slideshow of, I screen captured all the screens that I saw after I installed it and put them here. So if you'd like to see them all, and I give some recommendations, then I showed you how you can customize like I showed you when I brought it up. One of the things you want to do is to make sure that you've set the browser to be as most secure as you can. And that's by clicking the three dots in the corner and then choosing your settings menu. And once you go to your settings, you can look at your profile. And let me do that. Let me go here. I'm going to choose settings. And within my profile, I can say sign in and sync my data. If I do have Microsoft Edge on another system, and if I wanted to sync them, to sync everything, I could do that. But in this case, I'm not going to on this particular machines. If I want to turn on and off the rewards that you seen that at the beginning, here's where you can turn that off to show the rewards in Microsoft Edge. I don't have those, so I turn that off. Where I've got personal information, save and fill in basic information, I turn that off. I don't want anything about me stored within the browser, because the way that the Chrome and Chromium based web browsers are leaking the data, if someone gets the data leaked from your browser, if they got your information such as your passwords, your Gmail account or your Hotmail account or your Outlook account, and they got your passwords, they can log in, sync the data from your browser. And if you have everything like your credit card information, the sites that you purchase things, they can purchase things by using your account. The best thing to do is use a password manager. In my case, I use Bitwarden, so that way I have to put my password in when I'm using the browser. Now, I didn't when it first loaded up, because I have another browser within another window here logged in. So when I went to this tab, I didn't have to log in by showing anyone my password or my email address. So I use a password manager so that I have to log in, put my password just the first time, and I don't have to put my email address or my username, just my password for using all my passwords within the password manager. Here is to save and customize things. I turn that off because I don't want it to remember any usernames and passwords for any site. So it's blank within my profiles. If you go here to passwords, I have none. Where it says sign in automatically, this is not even activated because I turned off to offer saved passwords. I have 0 passwords saved and 0 never saved passwords. So I have no passwords saved in this browser, nor do I have it in any of my Chrome or Chromium based browsers. Payment information, I have nothing here stored in it. It's all stored within my password manager. And other information here, you can go through and click those. For privacy, to make sure that you are surfing as private as you can. And the one thing I like about Edge compared to Google Chrome is it actually has more privacy features within it. And I know a lot of people are trying to get away from Chrome, and this is another Chromium based web browser, and a lot of people don't like Microsoft, but this does have a lot of privacy features in it. Yes, Microsoft was probably collecting some data, but Google is collecting data from any Chromium based web browsers that you're using, unless you're using ungoogled Chromium. Now here's the basic, which is not giving you much protection. Strict, it can break a lot of websites, so I chose the middle one and tweaked some of the settings below. So I choose the balanced. Blocking trackers, if for some reason it's blocking a tracker on a particular website, you can go in there and have exclusions. Here's the exceptions that you can make. It says always use strict tracking prevention when browsing in private. You can turn that feature off or on depending upon your preferences. You can clear your browser data, or you can choose to save whatever browser information, so when you clear it, it's not clearing everything out. For privacy, I turn on the do not track. So when you're going to websites, it's sending it back to don't request the cookies of all the websites that you're visiting. Where it's allowing you to check the payment method saved, I turn that off because I have no payment method saved within this particular browser. I'm going to skip these two. Personalize your web experience. Improve your web experience by allowing Microsoft to use your browsing history. I don't do that. I switch that. I have that turned off. your manager certificates. Where Microsoft Defender Smart Scan, I enable that because with it kind of, if you're on a Windows system, works with your Microsoft Defender, Windows Defender, so that as your Microsoft Windows Defender scanning as you're using your system, this also is kind of like part of the Windows Defender, even if you're on a Mac or Linux system. It's not using Windows Defender in the background, but it's using part of their technology. So as you're visiting websites, if there's a malicious website, it will let you know. And let me come down here and I'll show you what I'm talking about. There's a link that you can click onto that will actually test. Here it is. You can click this link here and it will this gives you more information, about it. But if you actually click this link, you can actually test for phishing websites. If you click here in just a few moments, you can like a particular site, you can say, well, this is either safe or unsafe. You can adjust it for different sites, but I wouldn't allow a site unless you know for 100% sure that it's not a site that's phishing. And here's another link that will tell you that it's been reported as unsafe. Now this is just a little simulator. This will show you what it's like if malware is on a website. It will block it out. So there's many different links that you can click on to test the Windows Defender settings, and you can turn that feature off, but I like to turn it on to give you an additional safety features. You can block potentially unwanted apps, and I turn that on even though I don't have a lot of apps installed here. That's not the extensions here. Type squatting, like if you're typing in a URL and it will kind of let you know if the incorrect URL is a dangerous website. It won't let you go to it. So I enable that because I mistype a lot of times. You can turn on on-site safety services for more about the sites that you visit. You can turn that off if you don't like. Here's one of the things I did like. You can use your current internet provider, your DNS, but you got a choice if you use to click on this one here, and I'll show you down here below where you can click onto it. When you click onto it, if you don't have it preset, it will give you these options. It's Open DNS, Clean Browser for family filters that will block out adult websites. So if you have a child in your family, you might want to click that one. You can use the Google Public DNS, the Next DNS. I chose the Cloudflare. If you want more information about DNS or the Cloudflare, you can click these links. You get additional information. But this is the one that I chose. And here for enhanced security on the web, I chose the balanced. And for my services, I'm just going to let you look at what I have here. I'm not going to kind of go into the services part. Your appearance, I've got it set for the default of what I have for my operating system. So I'm using GTK so that it matches the theme of my operating system. If you'd like to change it, dark mode, light mode, pick a theme or download additional themes, change your zooms, you can customize. This is where you can customize the look of the browser. Here's where you can choose what your new tabs look like. So when I open it up, it just opens the new tab page. You can choose to have it open up to a particular page or no page at all. You can turn on, by default this is not turned on, the little home button. I like to enable the home button so when I click onto it, it takes me back to my home page. You can customize the way that your new tabs look. You can customize your cookies. You can make this your default browser. You can change the location of where you have to download to, and you can choose to prompt to where you can choose where you want to download it to. You've got family safety features that you can actually go into it and change according to the people in your family. You can change the languages or add languages to it. You can customize the printers installed. You can change the way that the system and performance is. Like for example, continue running in the background extension and the apps when Microsoft Edge is closed. So if you got extensions that you might want to run in the background, you can turn that on. But I turn that off and it still loads quickly when I click onto it to load the Microsoft Edge. Now, if you're getting screen tearing, I recommend to turn that on. For some people that might conflict, so you might need to turn it off. So you need to adjust that according to your system and your system settings. Here you can reset to go back to the factory reset the browser to make it like new again. This is for people with phones. Here's your accessibilities. You can change, like if you have problems looking at it, you can customize your keyboard settings and the way you see things on it. And if you're using Windows, when you click About, it will look at the most current version on your system, and if there's an update, it will go out and get the update and install it on your system. So that's with the system settings of Microsoft Edge. Let me scroll down and take a look at some extensions. Now, here I provide a link on extension that says browser extensions are privacy nightmares. Stop using so many of them. When you install an extension within your browser, that you give it permission to monitor the things that you use. And some extensions, not all extensions are safe. So the purpose of installing extensions for me is to make sure that I'm making extra layers of security when I'm using this browser. So my preference of a pop-up blocker is the uBlock Origin. As you can see, there's the uBlock Origin. I have the popper blocker, which is here. You can install either the Privacy Badger or Duck 2, or you don't have to install either of these, but these will provide some additional safety features. And I have the Privacy Badger, which is here. I put the Bitwarden Password Manager. I have the HTTPS, so if I accidentally don't put this, and it makes sure I go to a secure website. And you can put the sponsor block for YouTube. So if you go to YouTube and you have advertisements at the beginning, somewhere in the middle or at the end, it will block out the advertisements, saving you a lot of time. And you can include the Malwarebytes Browser Guard. What this will do is it will actually look for malicious malware or phishing sites as well. It will add an extra protection, and these two come from the Chrome store, whereas these you can get them in the Microsoft Edge stores, add-on stores. So you can look. So you've got a lot of add-ons within Microsoft website and within the Google Chrome store. Now here I show you some of the settings that I've already showed you within the browser. So it works great with Microsoft Office Online. So if you'd like to, I've created a speed dial here so I can click on Office. And once it opens up Office, it has that bar that comes up from the website. So if I wanted to go in Word, I could click on Word here. Let's say that I wanted to open up this ecosystem test that I created when I taught 6th grade science. As it's loading, I'm going to load up a few others in the background. I think I closed my bar while I go, but that's okay. I can open up another one. Click here. I don't know why I closed it. And I'll click a few others like a PowerPoint. And while it's loading, I will click a sample of Excel, and then I will open up the Google Calendar. And you can open up any of the other websites that you have here available. Now I'll close it. I'll close this tab. Let me go back to my first one. This was back in the days when I taught 6th grade science. I created a lot of tests during teachers when the kids were in the exploratory. When I was lesson planning, I would type up or start typing up their test or quiz, and I would use the Microsoft Office package that was on the computer system at the schools. And at home, I could either install Microsoft Office using the Wine or other ways, but with using the online Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, it works great for what I was using it for at school. So I can edit this just like I'm using the actual downloaded installation version. So here's a test I created, and I can come in here and click make changes and edit it. But as you can see here, you can see the page breaks. Everything looks fine within this particular document. PowerPoint. Here's a PowerPoint that I found online that I tweaked so that I was to go over my fill-in notes with my students, and I would put these on my website so if they missed it or missed some notes, they can download this at their own time, or they use their Chromebooks, they can access links from my website. Now I'm not exposing any students. I just put some examples of students, how that you can create a grade book and use an online grade book using Excel. Now, like I said, this is just a sample. Now here's my real calendar. Next Monday I have an appointment with the doctor. I have a problem with my spine, so if I'm not making videos for the next little while, I will be recuperating from an issue that I have with my spine. But that's my appointment that will send me an email notification that I have an appointment at 9 o'clock with Dr. Khan on Monday to fix or hopefully fix my cyst that I have on my spine. So here, as you can see here, the Microsoft works with the Microsoft products very well. So if you would like to remove it, you don't have to open up a terminal. I do have that you can remove the Edge stable by copying and pasting this. If you have the developmental, you can copy and paste this, or you can copy and paste this from the beta. You can use the graphical user interface from the Synaptics Package Manager, look for Microsoft Edge Beta, Stable, or developmental. This case is the stable. You can right click on it. You can choose to reinstall it, remove it. And if you'd like to remove it completely, which removes all the settings, you can do a complete removal. And when you hit OK or apply, it will not only remove the software from your system, it will remove all the settings. So when you go back to install it, you won't have any previous settings within the browser. You can use the Software Center to remove it. When you got your, like, all the software that's installed on here, click the remove button. You can use Stacer and search for Microsoft Edge, click on that and hit uninstall. So Windows is very similar to Linux on the way that you remove things. Like this is the add remove, and I'll close this out or minimize that, and I'm going to go to software. And when I do, I can go to my installed packages. I can scroll down where I see all the installed packages that are on my system. And when I find the Microsoft Edge, I can just simply click the remove button and it will remove it from my system. So this kind of looks like back in the days of Windows 98, Windows 95, Windows 7, and very similar to Windows 10, that you can access all the software installed on your system, click the remove button, and it will remove it from your system. So you don't have to work in the terminal. So if you're a Windows user thinking about switching to Linux, even though I have a lot of copy and paste put to the terminal, a lot of stuff is to where you can point and click or download a deb file, double click on it, and install it like an executable file. So if you're thinking about switching over from Windows to Linux and you like using the Microsoft Edge browser, you do have that option available. And like I said, Linux is about options. Diehard Linux users don't like Microsoft products, so I'll probably get a lot of hate comments below. But if you're switching over from that Windows environment and still would like to use Edge, you can. And Windows is kind of customizable in a way. If you looked at a lot of the Windows videos on YouTube, but Linux is very customizable as well. So if you don't like icons within a Linux system, you can go and customize your own icons to where you can make it look the way that you want. Hopefully this video has been helpful to you, and have a great day.